Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Jodessy. So today we're going to be entering sort of a new realm of conversation, and we're going to be speaking about what exactly is white privilege. Now, this is a term that gets thrown around a lot, and I believe sometimes it is used incorrectly, and sometimes like people claim white privilege and it's just like, nah, that person just went to school, like, or like it's like, oh yeah, no, white privilege, and I'll be like, no, you were just sleeping at your job and you got fired. That has nothing to do with white privilege. But other times it really is white privilege. So we're gonna get into what is white privilege. So what is white privilege? So first things first, I'm gonna, oh my god, my boyfriend's telling me way too much stuff and I cannot find what I wanted. But oh no, here it is, I think. Okay, great. So first things first, my own definition of white privilege is not like, okay, but having white privilege is not the equivalent to having an easier life because you're white. Well, kind of is. Okay, let me just backtrack. All right, having white privilege, being white, doesn't necessarily equate to your life being easy. So yes, you could have been raped, your mom could have been murdered, your dad could have been murdered, you could have been in foster care your whole life, you could have been beaten, you could have been born with a low IQ, you could have been born dyslexic, like mentally retarded, you could have been born whatever, and you're white. And no, it does not mean that your life is easy. Like, being white does not mean your life is easy. And you know what? Sometimes it does not mean that your life was easier than a black person. For example, if you were white and you grew up in a trailer park with a drug addict mom and an alcoholic dad that beat on you, clearly, although I'm black, my life was a lot better than yours. Like, and that's why I think that's where the major debate comes in, when people who are white are like, whoa, I went through struggles, I had a hard life, I went through this, that, and the third. And it's like, yes, I understand. Your life can be hard. I'm not saying that your life was easy because you're white. And you know what? And sometimes that's where I feel like some black people get a little mixed up, when they start thinking that just because you're white or lighter skin, your life was easier and you didn't have to go through these problems, or white people don't have problems, light skin people don't have problems. White and light skin are not equivalent, so just, but that's where we sort of mess up and people get a little confused and people do get a little pressured and annoyed. But what white privilege means is that never, not once in your life, was your life made harder because of the color of your skin. That's it. It's very simple. So never did someone say, I don't like the color of that person's skin, I'm gonna mess with them, I'm gonna make this opportunity harder. I don't want to give them this job because of the color of their skin. I don't want to give them this opportunity because of the color of their skin. I don't trust them because of the color of their skin. That's what white privilege is. It's as simple as that. So I don't want everybody to think that, white privilege, number one, it doesn't exist. Yes, it does. It does. As long as racism exists, and the idea that one race is better than another, or one skin tone is better than another, then white supremacy is, white privilege is always going to exist. So that's number one. Get that out of your head right now if you think, hey, it never existed. But if I go to, so let's say I go to a job interview, right? And I know you guys are going to be like, affirmative action. Like, okay, great. Let's say I go to a job interview. That'd be me, the dark side of my finger. And a white person goes to a job interview. And we went to the same school, same classes, same grades, everything. And the employer looks at both of us and says, you know what? Joan is more friendly, more appealing. She's going to be more appealing to the consumers. Now, what that's code for is we want a friendly white face instead of the non-friendly black face. And right there and there, I have been disadvantaged, not because I was uneducated, not because I was unqualified, but because when it came down to it, we were basically the same person. The only difference was the skin color. And guess what? Joan is not going to be disadvantaged from her skin color. Now, I know you guys are thinking, or some of you guys are thinking about like the FDNY test or other things like that, where you might have an advantage because you're black, or you might have an advantage because you're a minority. And basically, if you guys don't know, for the FDNY test, if you are a minority, you get points added to your test in order to bridge the gap and allow more minorities to come in and work, because they were having an issue with it being completely segregated, and you know, FDNY and the police department being completely white. So of course you might be at that point disadvantaged because you're white from passing the test. So let's say I get a 90, I get a 90, you get a 90. In reality, literally you have to get a perfect score. But let's say I get a 90, you get a 90, and I'm black. They now give me 2 extra points. Now I have a 92 and I'm ahead of you. That only really happens in the FDNY. And honestly, it's in order to make up for years upon years and upon years where I'd get 100 and you'd get a 90 and you'd still be placed first because you're white. Or we'd both get a 90 and you'd be placed first for your white. Or, you know what, I got a 90, you got an 88.8. And they were like, they're gonna take you. So just to let you guys know, it's literally trying to undo years of oppression that this system has placed on African Americans and young minorities in general. So you know what, you might be but the outrage you feel about like behind that, and I've heard people feel outraged, they feel like being white is not okay, they feel like they're being disadvantaged by white. Perfect, that's exactly how you should feel, because that's like, you know how it feels to feel black. When somebody tells you, oh, you're not getting this because I'm giving this to somebody else because of their skin color. Yeah, that's exactly how it feels to be on the opposite side of white privilege. So if you're mad about it, good. And now you should understand both sides of the argument and both sides of the issue. And especially since a lot of these fields are still predominated, like these 10 points didn't do anything. Just letting you know. Because then they also give points for if you're if you had a relative in the FDNY. Now, or if you had a relative that passed in the FDNY, if you had, if you did service in the army, if you had a relative that did service in the army. Now, if historically this FDNY is predominantly white, a lot of white people are also getting the points for having relatives that were in the FDNY because it was white. So where black people couldn't. So like, it's still a losing battle. So my boyfriend shared me this post, and it's basically the hashtag my white privilege, and it says, white people, what is the most outrageous thing you've gotten away with as a white person that you know damn well a black or a brown person would have never gotten away with? Here we go. All right, I got pulled over for rolling a stop sign driving my husband's car with a loaded handgun in the glove box and no permit, and got off with a warning. If you were black, you would got off dead. You would have been in with Jesus in 25 seconds. They would have been like, ooh, I smelled a gun. Yeah, okay. Next one. Driving drunk, speeding, warrant out for my arrest, suspended license, told to switch places with my also drunk passenger and sent home. Warrant out for your arrest and you were driving drunk and speeding? You would have been in a jail cell. Like, I don't understand. That's not even white privilege. That's ridiculous, because no, like, you don't care about making the road safe. Cops, we don't care about arrest him. You didn't even breathalyze the passenger before you say switch spots. Okay, I spit in a cop's face. I spit in my cop's face when he tried to take out my lip piercing with his bare hands. Yeah, I don't even know why he would try to take out your lip piercing with his bare hands. That's nasty. Number one. Number two, he would have just ripped that, like, you would have had no tie. She would have just ripped that out your mouth if you was black, if he really wanted to. I survived, got to keep my lip piercing, and was not beaten, released within 24 hours. You spin a cop's face and they didn't get you for assault, because if you look like me, it would have been assault. I'm honestly shocked at a lot of these. I saw like 5 in the last minute, and they said that spit in cops' faces and crazier shit. Oh my god. Right. you spit in cops' faces. You got a death wish. I wouldn't even spit on the floor near a cop. I'm trying to be here so I can make another video for you guys tomorrow. Alright, lots of things. As a teen, my friend stole her grandmother's car, no plates, and we got busted at a speed trap. Rather than pull over, she took off with several police vehicles in pursuit. Notice I'm still breathing and not incarcerated. You would have been beaten to a pulp. Your mama would have had to have a closed casket funeral if you was black playing these games, leading police on a high-speed chase. Are you kidding me? In the 80s, walked into a speakeasy, okay, looking for drugs, did a few lines of coke just as the place got raided. I was one of a half a dozen young white females that was told to go home like it never happened, while 24 black men and women were taken away. Same place, same time, and you see the difference. They're doing the same exact crime, but these people are being taken away because, lo and behold, they're white. Like, they're black. I mean, I can't. I shouldn't be laughing. This is disgusting. I should not be laughing, but here I am laughing. Breaking into my own car with a Slim Jim. A cop even helped me. Never once did he ask to see ID or registration to verify that it was, in fact, my car. He might have not even asked if it was my car, nor did he might have not even asked if it was my car, nor did I volunteer it, come to think of it. So you're just breaking into a car with a Slim Jim like this. And the officer's like, hey, you need help with that? Yeah, come on. Like, not even like, hey, sir, what are you doing? I guarantee you, if it was me trying to break into, number one, I would have just effed up the whole thing. I can't. I would have called the locksmith, my daddy, somebody else. But if I'm breaking into a car and nobody's going to stop me and be like, hey, is this even your car? What? Yo, I cannot. Okay. I locked myself out of my condo and had to unlock the window and crawl in. Passing cop saw me struggling to open the window and with no hesitation jumped in to help me. He had no reason to believe it was my house. He said I didn't look like a thief. What does look like a thief mean? That's the problem. That is the problem. Had I been trying to break into my own house, I'm sure, like, there have been episodes of SVU where people were trying to break into their own house. Isn't that exactly why Trayvon Martin got shot? He was in his block trying to get into his own house or something. Like, if I'm wrong about why he got shot, that's what the SVU episode remake was, where he was trying to climb into his own window, and a Grey's Anatomy did the same thing, where the person trying to climb into their own window, and they get shot. And here you are, the officer's like, hold on, let me help you, buddy. Okay. Alright, I literally talked a police officer out of handcuffs and going to jail for drugs. How the hell? Where in the training does it say, like, if you talk enough, you free? Because my people missed that memo. My grandmother took me to an airport the morning after she had a dinner party at work and forgot she had a kitchen knife in her purse. A kitchen knife? You just carrying around a kitchen knife? Security noticed it but shrugged and let her go through with the knife. If you were black, Spanish, Muslim, hell, I don't even know if an Asian person get through with that. You just gotta come through with the knife. Oh, like, oh yeah, I'll butcher knife. No, okay. Didn't even confiscate the knife. Oh my god. Always been pretty tame, but here's a shitty antidote. Every 6 months over the last 10 years living here in DC, I get cop cars that pull up to me while walking at night to remind me it's an unsafe neighborhood. It's not. And to ask if I need a ride. I've only been offered a ride once by a cop, and I was terrified because I thought they were just going to bring us to the precinct, and I'm going to tell you guys that story. Alright, here. Got pulled over and kept my hands visible on the wheel. Asked the cop for permission to reach into my glove box to retrieve paperwork. The cop chuckled and told me, you don't need to worry about doing all that. No paperwork? They were like, you good. I believe it's yours. I believe you paid for registration. Alright. Alright, this is a lot. Yo, why is this thread so long? So many of you guys are getting away with stuff. Like, if you've ever had an experience as a white person where you've gone away with something that you know dang well you shouldn't have gone away with, comment down below. And you know what? What are your reactions to these things? Have you ever gotten away with something that you know you shouldn't have gotten away with? Or you know what? Have you ever seen somebody get away with something? Like you was the black person handcuffed, you was the Latino, the minority handcuffed, and you watching the person you was kicking with go on, mosey on home? Let me know. Comment down below. This thread is too dang long. We not getting through all of them. We're definitely not. We're just gonna cut it here. But thank you guys for watching. You guys will definitely see me, your girl Jodessy, a little bit later. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And please comment down below. I love reading your comments. When they're nice comments, when they're mean comments, I don't like reading them. But if they're nice, I like reading them. So definitely, and tell me all your little anecdotals, your little funny stories. I love to hear them. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, and you guys will see me. I already said that, but a little bit later. Like this.